Femi Aminu. Femi Aminu is a proven team leader and doer who successfully integrates strategic thinking with strong technical and analytical competencies. With over 24 years of experience in information technology, corporate governance, compliance, system integration, operations, project management, business process reengineering, systems auditing, business continuity, data protection, risk management, consulting, network and telecommunication services, strategy in the financial services, aviation, oil and gas, logistics, and IT services sectors. He holds a BSc in Electronic and Electrical Engineering from the Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, Nigeria, and an MBA with distinction from Vlerick Business School in Belgium. He holds a number of professional certifications in IT, risk management, compliance, audit, and cybersecurity. A transformational leader and experienced system integrator who has played key roles in revamping and transforming the technology infrastructures of two leading banks, including legacy systems and security systems, with verified capability to harness the value of IT to solve business challenges while managing costs and risk. Professionally, Femi worked from 1996 to date at a number of companies. Amlin's Communication Limited, a Schlumberger cable and wireless company, Nigeria Television Authority, Designgov WA, Motorola Communication, Sita and Equant, Avitech Consulting, Philips Consulting, UBA Group, Union Bank of Nigeria, Keystone Bank Limited, eTransact International PLC, and currently an Executive Director in Momo PSB. Ministerially, Pastor Femi Aminu, popularly known as FA, is a pastor in the Redeemed Christian Church of God, presently serving as the Regional Youth Pastor of Region 11, Provincial Youth Pastor, Lagos Province 19. He is also the area pastor of Christ the Rock Assembly. He loves reading, traveling to explore places, and watching movies. Outside work, he enjoys coaching and training youths on leadership, entrepreneurship, and life skills. He is married to his beautiful wife, Tolu Aminu, PA, and they are blessed with wonderful boys and girls. Ladies and gentlemen, Femi Aminu.
I believe that applause is for God. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. I was told I've got 10 minutes and already told them that 1 minute is already gone with the citation. All protocols observed. It's really a privilege. And I want to thank our guests for waiting all this while. You know, if I'm speaking after a commissioner, I'm speaking after my PICP, I'm speaking after a well-known and renowned arts and entertainer in the Christian realm. And then I'm speaking after that relationship talk. You can understand my fears. But I just feel sometimes we need to do heart-to-heart talk to ourselves. So briefly, all I'm simply going to do is just simply to speak in that light. And basically, the person that I'll be using from the Bible is just Esther. And why that is particularly, most times when people talk about leadership, they don't really talk about Esther. Maybe because she's female. Even it depends really in the context. But what exactly do I want to bring out? It said, for a time like this. And we're talking about leadership for what? A time like this. Every time we're privileged to attend Recalp, it's the night edition. For someone, the first edition should have been the Eureka moment. But interestingly, you are still attending the night edition. The question is, what have you made out of Recalp? I'll try to define leadership in my own way. Leadership is simply someone who submits and surrender his own agenda, surrender his own plan, and submits to a greater one that only God can give. Leadership, I actually call it leadership. Lead your sheep. Lead my sheep. Indirectly, what am I simply saying? A leader is someone that first starts by leading him or herself before he can begin to lead others. And then I'll take it further and say, lead their sheep. When somebody has led a sheep, then it's interesting and is able, he has capacity to do what? Lead others. What is leadership? It's a fancy word, But in reality, it's one of the most toughest things to unravel. What am I trying to say? You move from certainty to what? Uncertainty. You move, setting a sail, starting from the shore. Many people have ideas. Many people have great business plans. Many people have ventures they want to start. But you know the interesting thing? All these things always remain on the paper. You only activate it the moment you decide to leave the shore, the moment you decide to leave the port. But when you activate it, you set yourself on a line of sail when you cannot predict what storm you will pass through. I always wonder, why is it that sometimes they try to read people's biography before they come to speak? They're only simply to say something. This person is authentic. He has a story behind him. So when he's speaking, he's not speaking theoretical things. He's only telling you what he has what? Experienced. Everyone wants to be a leader, but few are ready to pay the price to be what? A leader. It's a well-known saying. They say leadership is lonely at the top. Indeed, it is lonely because there's a price to pay. How many people are ready to pay those prices? What am I simply trying to say? And I'm very conscious of my time. I'm simply saying, are you ready to pay the price? Be it relationship, be it on entrepreneurship, be it on career, be it on politics, or whatever vocation you choose to do. It's a key thing. And I'll move on by trying to just spell the word leadership, just on some key things I want to draw, because the time is just too short to handle this. But I understand we say we're committed to finishing on time. Number one, learning. You have come to learn. Every leader keeps learning. Circumstances, situations, moments gives you opportunity to learn. And like I told you about speaking from Esther, I noticed when Esther was being spoken about in Esther chapter 2, there was something interesting when his uncle, Mordecai, who was privileged to bring her up, sent her to go and join the contest. There was one key thing that was written about her in that chapter 2, and that was that she obeyed every instruction, the eunuch she was placed under. Whatever did she not say, she didn't do. I wonder if I ask her, my own generation, or maybe the generation next that is on ground now, the question is, will you submit to every instruction? Every leader produces results by their voice. Their voice signifies instruction. The question is, what voice are you listening to? Very, very critical. That's number one. Learning. Even creativity involves learning. I'm sure you heard what Joshua Magbamiloye spoke about. Learning obediently. The easiest thing is to learn. I'm only wondering if your jotter will not end up in your library and not be read until Recalp 2024. That's a deep question. Number two, empathy. Empathy. I define empathy by sympathy with action for others. Sympathy that includes action. Sympathy that includes taking a step. I can see someone on the road or in a need, and I see him and I begin to sympathize. But that's not enough. It only becomes showing love or compassion when I take action. Remember, I'm spelling leadership. A, I talk about accountability. Accountability. And for me, accountability is not just accountability, but answerability. Even though Esther found herself in the palace, she was still what? Answerable to Mordecai. Many of us are becoming parish pastors. But you know what? We rather want to become a zonal pastor and just ride on the sky. Is that not true? I'm sure. I don't want to repeat this because, one of the speakers, that's Pastor Adetutu, was speaking. And she said, when he was hearing the profile of our PICP, it was what? A ride. From pastor in charge of parish to pastor in charge of area, there was a progression. D, determination. If I die, I die. Esther chapter 4, verse 16. It's a price. Particularly, the whole essence I want to say is that, are you set to pay that price? Are you determined? Because there will be challenges, there will be situations, and there will be circumstances. I'm sure as you step out of this place already, you begin to hear voices that tell you, those things you have decided to do, should you really do it? E, enthusiasm. Passion. Passion. When you enjoy what you are doing, then you are living. When you don't enjoy what you are doing, you are dying. It's rather better for you to die than to keep living. Because every day what happens is that something begins to reduce in you. But the question is, what are you enthusiastic about? R, responsibility. Tell somebody, responsibility. Tell him again, responsibility. Responsibility to who? Stakeholders. I used to think your family is the most important, and maybe your colleagues, but I begin to understand that in reality, you never know who is watching. In this room today, somebody's been watching you. You don't know what will be the next step. Your stakeholder, number one, is the self. You. Are you responsible to yourself? It's interesting if a program is organized and we'll have to encourage you to come, we'll have to transport you to come, we'll have to feed you to come, we'll have to carry you back home, and we have to drop you back home. We have to confirm that you are home, and then you call yourself a leader. Are you? I didn't ask you. You know clearly. Because leadership, it's about taking initiative. So first to self, second to your superiors, next to the supreme being. Of course, that's the foremost to God. To your subordinates, to your shareholders, to your society. I hope you know that your greatest stakeholders are your neighbor. Because when people know you from afar, they don't really know you. If you really want to know who I am, you know who to ask. Is that not true? I won't tell you to go and ask, by the way. Also, much importantly, the society, which could be somebody by the road. A lot of times when I drive many times and I'm passing, it's easy to blame the government. One thing that keeps telling me, and I keep telling my driver if I'm not the one driving myself, Oga, I hope you look at the sticker that's on that car. What am I trying to tell you? If you create a scene, Abi, and they take the picture, nobody will remember you. Who would they remember? So you understand better. S, self-control. We've heard so much about that, and I like that topic on relationship. Can we appreciate Pastor Adetutu again? Can we appreciate her again? And then H, humility. Just imagine, we're bringing renowned speakers, and they all still decided to wait through to listen to the message. What do you call that? Humility. Some of us actually want the program or the agenda for today so that you can check which one to do what? To choose. So that you can choose the one that makes sense to you. Why will I waste my time listening? In actual sense, maybe perhaps if you are at home, you might just simply be watching a movie. H, humility. I, integrity. Thank you, sir. Governance with highest what? Integrity. Politics is sweet because there are a lot of good things there. But there's always a what? A price to pay. Don't just go. Grow so that you can achieve your purpose. My time is gone, and I'll close it on this note. P, which is pursuit. What will you do after what? Today. That's the key question. Pursuit of purpose through passion. I would have loved to say much, but I've come to discover when there's so much to say, perhaps people will forget everything you have said, and at the end they will do what? They will know nothing. I challenge every one of you, before Recalp 2024, make sure you have something to show. And by the way, every one of us are leaders. How do I know? Start today by leading yourself. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.